Well, good morning, viewers from across the globe. Today is Monday, July 27th. ADC presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar's Washington-based lobbying firm is escalating its campaign, renewing calls for the release of records relating to President Tinubu's 1993 U.S. civil forfeiture case and President Donald Trump's speech at the White House Correspondents Association dinner over the weekend, where he jokingly expressed his intention to run for a fourth term as President of the United States continues to generate controversy. And there is excitement in the entertainment world as director Ryan Coogler announced the return of Black Panther 3, revealing actor David Johnson as the new Black Panther, with the film set for release in December 2028. Let's dive in. I am OjyOkpe, and this is what's trending. Now, before we dive deeper, let's see what you're talking about right now. We've been tracking conversations on X, Facebook, our YouTube live feed, and of course, Leke. And three stories are dominating your timelines this morning. Trending at number one, two shocking incidents of reckless endangerment are generating outrage online. A speeding car kills a young boy during an illegal drifting near Imo State University in Owerri on Sunday evening. And a chaotic horse race in Kano State left multiple riders thrown and trampled, with claims of at least 2 deaths circulating online. Trending at number two, a dramatic new twist in the Abacha death controversy, with former Chief Security Officer Hamza Al-Mustapha firing back at retired DSS operative Dennis Amakari, flatly dismissing his account of how Abacha died and claiming he has CCTV footage to prove it. And trending at number three, 36-year-old British Nigerian former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua staged one of the most dramatic comebacks in his career in Saudi Arabia over the weekend. We have the details. Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversation. Use the hashtag What's Trending with OjyOkpe. Comment on our live feed. And of course, Leke. Tell me, which of these stories matters most to you? Because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, a Nigerian national, Chika Ibe, from Abia State, has allegedly been tortured to death by members of the South African Police Service in Cape Town, and the Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa are out in protest, demanding an immediate investigation. Let's watch.
You don't have any right to take somebody's life. It's not nice. You guys must give him life to wake up. The only thing that's gonna solve this thing, you guys must make that guy to be alive again. There is no solution. Or those people that are involved, we're gonna also come out, let's take a gun and shoot all of them once. Justice must be served. You guys can't come here and treat us like animals. How can you come and kill somebody? It's happening live in Paxik Village, Belville. They are treating us like animals. This is not how police works. If you want to work, you do your work straight. Don't kill somebody. Look at what is happening.
See him. They kill that man. They play. They kill him. They beat him. You know it. They kill him. See them and them that. Then ye that. The army that killed them. Then them that. Kiss a Nigerian man for complex Paxik Village. See him. One man do. And they accuse me. What I deal with them. See him. So Najo, where they kill him. What's our hang my family so no hang. See him so. Kache wa de, peye wa de, Captain Paxik Village. See him so no. Ochakala. See him. Peke tawe de wan bitam so. See him.
Well, the Nigerian Citizens Association South Africa has described the circumstances surrounding this case as deeply disturbing. Chika Ibe allegedly died after severe beating, torture and suffocation during a routine police operation in Cape Town, and videos of the alleged incident have since gone viral online. This is not an isolated incident. It is now the third Nigerian to allegedly die at the hands of South African security forces in recent weeks. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, responded swiftly to the earlier deaths. But with this third incident, the pattern is impossible to ignore. These incidents demand more than diplomatic notes. They demand accountability, and the Nigerian government must treat these cases with the urgency they deserve. Well, good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Ayo, I'll come right to you on this story. This is really a sad incident. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video, quite graphic. We have the videos there. But, you know, it was so appalling to watch these officers. This was a summary execution if you had watched that video. And again, we're getting conversations about diplomatic notes. This is not the time for this sort of conversations. It is enough. A Nigerian man has died yet again in South Africa.
One Nigerian citizen dying in South Africa is one too many. Now we've had two, we've had three. And to be quite honest, let's call a spade a spade. We have talked diplomatically, we have given historical context to how Nigeria was instrumental to the apartheid fight, how Nigerians gave up their own personal allowances in support of their South African brothers. We have talked and talked and talked. I think now it is time for us to do force, to show a sense of force. And I understand, because if we don't respond to this, how many more Nigerian lives, properties, businesses have to be destroyed for us to speak up against this? The Ghanaians have already spoken up. In fact, there was a barring of the South African president from coming to attend a particular conference there in Ghana based on the situation of things in the country. But all we've had are statements and statements being released. This is time for us to now hit them where it hits hardest. And that is why maybe the conversation around even looking at South African owned businesses and assets ought to be revisited, because if the only language they understand is economic, an attack on their economic power, then perhaps that's the only language you can speak to them. Because at this moment, it looks almost as if Nigeria is a weaker state to South Africa. They need to deal with this, and the South African president is not saying anything concrete or is not speaking out to condemn these things. Instead, they are playing around, defense and talking, and even having the audacity to speak about handling your drug. Was this man a drug dealer? What was his crime? Why was he killed in such a manner, in such a terrible manner? Right. We've talked about taking this to the ICC. We've talked about approaching International Criminal Court and taking South Africa. I believe that we should pursue that. Fantastic. We've talked about other measures to go against and attack some of their assets. I think we should start to talk about that. And the Senate must speak about this on the floor. And God bless Senator Adams Oshomole, who has been consistent about speaking about this. We cannot afford to lose another Nigerian life. So let's explore every option, not just statements, not just now invitations to the ambassador. We need to actually take action right now, because this is now being ridiculous.
Thank you, Ayo, for your submission. May his soul rest in peace. And over in the United States, Congressman John James is calling on the Nigerian government to act quickly and release the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, or risk losing out on American aid funding. James made the call during plenary last Thursday, where he alleged that Kanu's persecution is part of a larger pattern of Christian persecution in the country. Let's take a look.
Nigeria is the deadliest place on earth to be a Christian today. Since 2019, tens of thousands of Christians in Nigeria have been slaughtered as part of a sustained pattern of religiously motivated violence by Islamist jihadis ignored or enabled by the Nigerian government. Extremist groups like Boko Haram are allowed to operate without any meaningful response from authorities. A courageous leader named Nnamdi Kanu was convicted in a farce show trial for speaking out about what's happening. He's currently serving a life sentence in prison, convicted on false terrorism charges. I implore my colleagues to support my bill, HRES 1321, calling on the Nigerian government to conduct another trial in accordance with its own constitution, based on evidence, with access to legal counsel, medical care, and international law pertaining to humane conditions of detention, or, better yet, release Nnamdi Kanu immediately and unconditionally. America gives billions to Nigeria. We will not continue to fund a Christian genocide. We have the moral obligation to stand up so our Christian brothers and sisters can worship the Lord our God in peace. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield.
Now, the federal government, Rufai, will almost certainly push back hard on this call, insisting that Nnamdi Kanu's prosecution is a matter of national security and not religion. And I'll take some responses on X. Foreign lawmakers are free to express their views, but Nigeria's courts and legal processes ultimately determine cases within the country's jurisdiction. If there are concerns about due process, they should be addressed through the rule of law, not political pressure. At the same time, Nigeria's human rights record and security challenges will continue to attract international scrutiny. Dan wrote on X, U.S. legislators should focus on the issues facing their own country instead of attempting to dictate how Nigeria manages its internal affairs. Nigeria has made its position on Nnamdi Kanu clear. If the U.S. wishes to cut its aid over that, it is free to do so. Your thoughts, Rufai?
See, the truth is also, we've always said about this Nnamdi Kanu matter is that we have always called for a political solution. Because if you have put Nnamdi Kanu in jail as they have put him now, are there no other people that have said terrible things? And like I've always said, there are many parts I don't agree with what Nnamdi Kanu said. But are there no other people that have said terrible things in this country in support of people killing others? Are there no other people? It's the unfairness and lack of balance that scares me about this country. It's the unfairness and lack of balance. There are other people too that have said other things. But those people can never be called for question in Oji. There are some people that are bigger than the state. With the level of things they have said, they can never be called for questioning. They can never be called for questioning. They can say anything and go scot-free. They can advocate for bandits.
And that's the injustice Nigerians are calling out.
They can advocate for bandits, and nothing, I repeat, nothing will happen to them. So that's the level of injustice we are talking about.
All right. Well,
secondly, for those that are saying America should face their own and everything, you to stop collecting their aid. It's now you remember you're a sovereign nation. Sovereign nation, but you are collecting, how much is the aid money? America is getting close to $1 billion. But now you remember you are a sovereign nation, but you are collecting their close to $1 billion. When you show off with the contract and say, oh, USAID provided, USAID provided scholarship, USAID provided this, in the you don't know it's other people's taxpayers' money. So stop collecting. Maybe when they withdrew the aid recently, people were, no, now, it's the poor people that will suffer. Is it America that should be feeding your poor people?
All right.
The same country that used to lend World Bank money in the 70s.
Right.
Is it the same? Because you fail to realize that why these countries do these things is because of influence. Nigeria too does it. We do TICAD now, Abi.
Yes, we do.
So it's force of influence. When Kennedy set up, what's it called, Peace Corps, was it? It's to be able to increase America's influence.
Right.
When, what's it called, Bush did PEPFAR, is to be able to increase America's influence. So if they say, oh, we give you aid, and because of that they use their aid to threaten, they have every right to use their aid to threaten you. When Elon Musk all of a sudden came and said he was doing Doge, and he was cutting everything with, what's that boy's name, Big Ben, or what's that boy's name that was cutting everything in America? Didn't they cut USAID funding? Didn't money, wasn't it radically squeezed? Didn't Elon Musk come after years and say, I went into politics a little bit? He went into politics big time. In fact, he was sleeping in Mar-a-Lago.
All right. I mean, this vote is now set for, some sort of confirmation about the aid. We'll see. I mean, I think that it will pass, really, because, I mean, they have all voted to remove, to stop 100%.
Despite that it passes, it's still incumbent on the American government. So what's it called does is different from what the parliament will do in America. It's still incumbent on the Trump's government anyway.
Well, all right. Well, in security news, troops of Operation Fansan Yamma have rescued 48 kidnapped victims following a swift response to a terrorist attack in Kaura Namoda local government area of Zamfara State in the early hours of Saturday, June 26. The operation was launched after troops received a distress call reporting that terrorists on approximately 40 motorcycles had invaded the community, rounding up residents with the intention of abducting them. The troops immediately engaged the terrorists in a fierce firefight, forcing them to abandon the victims and flee. Tragically, one civilian lost his life during the attack, and 2 others were wounded and evacuated to the General Hospital for treatment. Aggressive patrols have since been launched to prevent further attacks in the area. This is an incredible win. The Theatre Command commends the soldiers for their gallantry, and so does Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army arrested Mohammed Yusuf, a soldier attached to the Nigerian Army Ordnance Kits factory in Lagos, after he was declared wanted for allegedly supplying military gear to terrorists, with troops of the 7th Provost Group nabbing him at Jidari bus stop in Maiduguri on July 25th as he allegedly attempted to flee to Cameroon. Now, this arrest is a reminder that the war against terrorism has an internal front, and the Nigerian army must continue rooting out bad actors within its own ranks. I mean, this security win comes as a Kebbi State High Court judge, Justice Faruku Hassan Bunza, was abducted over the weekend in a brazen midnight raid on his residence in Kebbi State, shortly after he returned home from a trip to Sokoto, with police confirming the abduction and deploying tactical teams to comb forest areas for his safe rescue. I mean, this is a direct assault on the Nigeria's judiciary. The terrorists walked into his home, fired shots, and kidnapped the judge. The war against terrorism is far from over. We hear the police have deployed tactical teams to secure his release, and we pray for his safe return home. I mean, I thought to highlight the security wins and just, to mention that amid the win, we still have this sort of brazen attack. I mean, this man was in his home and he was kidnapped. An attack on the judiciary, I must say. But, we're hoping that the police will win again this time around to bring this judge home. It is a targeted attack. It does appear like a targeted attack. Now, Dr. Abati, I'll come to you with this story. Now to a dramatic twist in the Abacha death controversy. Hamza Al-Mustapha, former chief security officer to late military ruler General Sani Abacha, has fired back at retired DSS operative Dennis Amakari, flatly dismissing his account that Abacha died of cardiac arrest during an intimate encounter, saying that he has all the CCTV footage of what happened in his custody. Al-Mustapha, who has consistently maintained that Abacha died from a handshake with a security operative of a visiting dignitary, described Amakari as acting out a script written by others and promised to respond fully at the appropriate time. 28 years later, after Abacha's death, we're still getting contradictory accounts about the night of June 8th, 1998. Al-Mustapha says he has CCTV footage, but has not released it to date. Nigerians are eagerly waiting, aren't they? Dr. Abati, your thoughts?
Well, first, let me state a principle.
Yes.
There's a principle in government. I don't know whether it's a 10-year rule or 15-year rule that whatever you see in government, you are not supposed to write about it.
Okay.
There's usually a period. But of course, in Nigeria now, that has often been observed in the breach. You see people, they will leave government 2-3 months later, they are already writing a tell-all narrative. Then there is also a certain category of officials, public officials, that are not even allowed to write what they have seen. You know, they are sort of given, is it disbarment allowance, something? Debarment allowance, and they are paid that allowance not to go out to go and say what they have seen. Because, you know, there are certain facts, certain information that you come across in the course of your work that may create, you know, some kind of tension in the polity. And that's why I say sometimes it's not what a farmer sees, a hunter sees in the forest that he talks about outside. But in Nigeria, again, we observe most things in the breach. However, I want to listen to about two persons on this subject of Mr. Makri's book. Let's start with Al-Mustapha. Al-Mustapha was the chief security officer to General Abacha. And he said that he was the duty officer to investigate what happened and that he had the tapes and all of that. I don't think he's threatening to release those tapes. It may not be, you know, part of his standing orders to go and release that. But he is also a testimony after the fact, and he's saying, this is what I saw. Now, yesterday, I had a gentleman on the This Day Live program. He was a soldier, but after a while, he discharged himself, or he disengaged from the military, and he just started a security consulting business. He raised a number of questions. He said that Mr. Dennis Amakri's evidence is based solely on the testimony of the lady that escaped from Abuja to Lagos. That, okay, why was the sister, who is the main girlfriend, why was she not interrogated? And that, you know, one person's account cannot be taken to be the gospel truth. Who investigated the officers that were in the guest house at that time? Who is that officer who took an instruction from a lady late in the night on the orders of the CEC, and the order was not directly from the CEC himself? He also said that, did Mr. Amakri have access to the autopsy that was conducted, because an autopsy would have been conducted? In other words, he was just saying that, okay, the SSS, the headquarters itself, since Mr. Amakri was in Lagos, what additional investigation did the headquarters carry out, or what did headquarters do with his interrogation? So the guy raised a number of questions like that. And then, of course, you have heard from Al-Mustapha. So there's still a lot to the story. There is. You know, that we do not know, and that we may never know. Right. But you can say that Al-Mustapha, as a lawyer officer, you know, also has a responsibility to, you know, defend the integrity of his principal, and to defend the integrity of the information available to him as the main officer on duty, as chief security officer within that villa. What could have, you know, sorted this out would have been maybe interagency cooperation in some other jurisdictions. An event like that will happen, and then, of course, you know, they'll keep investigating. I mean, it can still happen. Why can't they continue until they reach a certain level? But one group saying the CEC died on top of a woman, another group saying he was poisoned by some foreign agent. You never get it. So the question about he died on top of me still in context right now. So yes, there's a question mark there. But you know, we told our viewers that we'll be reading your comments. So let me take this comment from Solomon on Leke, who wrote, the former DSS officials claim that Abacha died during intercourse is not new, not proven, and not officially confirmed by any Nigerian institution. It's part of the long-running folklore around Abacha's death, a mix of truth, rumor, and political mythology. And Nigerians should treat it as unverified testimony, not established fact. Always confirm sensitive political information with trusted
sources. Well, thank you, Solomon, for that as well. But, you know, I've been in contact with a lot of people, and I also spoke with a House of Rep member, who I will not mention at this point. And he actually confirmed Dennis Amakeri's story, saying that he is friends with the two sisters. They're longtime family friends, and that, you know, they are from Abia State, or the girl is from Abia State. And the story is true. The girl has since moved on, and she's had children, but they are still in close, conversations at this point. So, I mean, where's the story now? We don't know. I guess at the end of the day, it's that interagency investigation that we need. And if Al-Mustapha is saying that we have CCTV footage, please let Nigerians know what happened
it's
to...
a cold case file. They can be arrested
and
interrogated afresh.
Well, they are still alive. Yes, I don't have their contact. I only spoke with the House of Rep member. All these sisters, they are not there. I don't know them at all. Well, all right. All right. Now let's highlight this video, reigniting the debate over the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, showing a patched section of the road, revealing a large hole that exposed metal casting rods in the middle of the highway. The person recording the video claimed that the hazard destroyed the tire of his vehicle, warning motorists to be extremely careful, especially during rainfall. Let's take a look.
It's falling soon. Please be very, very careful when you are very long coastal road. This is a very, very deep hole that they created. I think those people working, they created a very big hole in this place. I don't know why, and it's in the middle of the road. Please, once you pass Ogombo, lower your speed. Once you pass Ogombo, this is what it has, the damage has caused to mine. And as a matter of fact, this is even the spare tire I'm using.
Well, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, has responded to this video, clarifying that the site, which is at Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, has been substantially completed, but that a 200-meter stretch at kilometer 25 was deliberately left without concrete pavement to allow sand-fill settlement. The minister went on to state that on July 7th, testing confirmed 97% settlement was achieved and final concrete work has begun. He added that the site was properly blocked and will reopen after 3 weeks to allow proper concrete curing, describing it as standard engineering practice. Now, the minister says the site was properly blocked, but Nigerians are asking, how exactly did someone drive into it and damage their tire? It appears the blockade was inadequate, so there has to be better signage and communication to avoid such accidents. Meanwhile, with the Osun governorship election just 3 weeks away, a video showing the condition of the newly constructed Lameko Bridge is generating fierce debate online, with critics on social media alleging that the contract was awarded to an interior decoration company. Let's take a look.
Ní Lameko òun ló ti bú yìí, òun ló ti já yìí o. Bíríìjì owó iyebíye ló ti já yìí o. Bíríìjì owó iyebíye òun ló ti já ní Lameko báyìí o. Òun ló ti já ní Lameko yìí o. Bíríìjì ti wú o.
Well, Governor Ademola Adeleke has since responded to this video and personally inspected the site. He was briefed by engineers at the Ministry of Works, who declared that the damage was caused by deliberate sabotage and not poor construction. Let's take a look.
Bridge section. Okay. We have bridge section. This one bridge section. We call this one ram section. Ram section. Okay. We have 4 major items in the bridge construction. Okay. That if when any one of them fails, that bridge has failed. Okay. We have the 2 retaining walls at the side. This is the clutch. Okay. Yes. They just drill it. If I want to drill this thing, if I take little diesel and I pour it there, tomorrow morning when I come, my hand can drill to any extent. Okay. So they just placed this one. All the passerby didn't notice it. Okay. So the water started accumulating inside.
They did it deliberately. Or what?
The person that did it deliberately. We just saw it on the social media, on the release, different people.
Now.
So we just came, okay, we just cut the asphalt on top. we saw the water on top of the lateral. By the time we bring the sample of the asphalt, this is the asphalt thickness that this is more than the specification. The specification said 100 mm, 60-40. This is 120 to 125.
But I want results.
Well, in a post on X, the governor also referenced a similar reported incident at the Largere flyover and condemned what he described as politicians sponsoring the vandalization of public infrastructure ahead of the election, saying it is no longer politics, but a hate crime against the people of Osun State. The governor immediately ordered repairs at the Lameko Bridge, and the Ministry of Works has since fixed the damaged section of the bridge and reopened it. The governor also directed immediate security surveillance on all major public infrastructure across the state. Now, with August 15 just 3 weeks away, Osun State is a tinderbox. Public infrastructure built with taxpayers' money was damaged. The governor and the Ministry of Works say sabotage. Someone must be held accountable. But kudos to Governor Adeleke for his swift personal response to the incident. Now, we have pictures of the repair, and I saw those pictures. If you can highlight the pictures. Now, the bridge has been reopened, and the governor went right there to order the immediate repair, calling it sabotage. I know you want to speak, but I'd like Ayo to quickly come in on this one. Well, if we can have those pictures.
On both stories, the coastal road, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Coastal Road, by the way, on both stories, I want to applaud active citizenship because it shows that people are watching. And when people report cases like this where there are public infrastructure...
Upload social media too.
Yeah, so it's people, active citizenship, citizens report. I think it is brilliant that people are doing that, and we must continue to do this. That's on one. The second aspect, let me start with Osun State. With the Osun State incident, I think, like you mentioned, Oji, that this is now, it has now gone beyond politics. If we have the People's Commonwealth, where a lot of money has gone to better the lives of people and provide infrastructure, and it is being deliberately sabotaged in the name of politics. Number one is that an investigation ought to be done. So kudos, we've given the kudos that's due to the fast response by the governor, the quick repair of that damaged part of the bridge. But I think even more importantly is to fish out the perpetrators. I know that we have the NSCDC, we have other security apparatus that would deal with this. The reason for this is that we cannot afford to continue to cause the people to suffer because of one person's personal ambition. Now, this is said to be alleged, but once an investigation is concluded, whoever was used as a tool and whoever was responsible for this must be brought to the book. This is not politics anymore. You cannot sabotage the people's commonwealth in the interest of one person. Another thing is that Osun State is clearly a flashpoint when it comes to insecurity ahead of the August 15 elections. And we have repeatedly said it, that it doesn't seem like the police and other security agents are doing enough to secure this state so that we do not see more casualties, whether it is lives being killed, the teenager, the young person who was killed, and now, important infrastructure and the People's Commonwealth, I repeat, being sabotaged in this manner. We need to call to question this. The governor cannot keep going for condolence visits, keep going to inspect sites that have been a deliberate attack to undermine his leadership. Let's put politics aside. Whatever it is for the good people of the state must be respected as such. Now, one statement on the Lagos Coastal Road, Oji, and that is, whatever the explanation of the minister is, by the way, he's been boasting about it being concrete road, and that should last at least 30 to 50 years. Other things there might be influences. But one thing is that there have been a number of accidents on that road, some of them not properly reported. And this is just clearly, it's still a construction site to a very large extent. Clearly marked signs. Areas that are clearly marked so that we have the area boys, they're not taking advantage and having people go. I've seen people driving at speed one way on that bridge. And so it is important on that coastal road. It is important that whilst the work is ongoing, whatever the excuse is, no tire should be burst, no accident ought to happen, because everything should be clearly marked and sufficient information should be given to people.
I think that's the main point, that there should be more, there should be more awareness, communication, and people that are maybe trying to vandalize, like it happened in, Osun State. Dr. Bati, I know that you want to quickly...
The explanation offered by the Minister of Works, I think is self-explanatory enough. and is adequate enough. But you made a point that there should have been some kind of indicator to show that, oh, there is construction ahead, because clearly that portion of that road was being repaired.
Yes.
But I wanted to say that, well, we should know the way Nigerians behave. Even when it is very clear and government has put a sign there or a form of obstruction, don't you know that Nigerian motorists are so stubborn that they will go there and physically remove the signage or the blockade and say, oh, I want to go into this road. Who put this thing here? I passed this road today. And then the same man will go onto that road and then he will drive on top of an exposed iron, and then he will complain that, oh, that his government that caused the problem. Yes. Nigerians themselves should learn to take safety first.
By the way, I crossed the coastal highway this weekend for the first time at night, and I saw the huge signage that's been quite controversial. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Lagos Coastal. It's been quite controversial. I'm sure you've spoken with guests. No, the naming of the bridge has been quite controversial. But I saw it and I thought, like, wow, this is the first time I'm seeing the signage. It was quite the signage. I heard it's been there. It's my first time now. You know, I'm a JJC. I acted like JJC.
It's conspicuous. It is.
Why is it controversial? What is it controversial?
Because people are wondering why everything is
What's wrong with you?
It's been there for a while.
It's not controversial.
When that first part was commissioned.
Stop saying that.
It's caused the controversy.
It's President Tinubu that built it. You have to know he built it.
Let's talk about Osun. We're going to finish Osun quickly.
I think the point that should be made is that, you know, as Osun moves towards the August 15 general election, all parties involved, whether they are thugs or they are recruited party agents or policemen or whoever they may be, they should give peace a chance. Because at the end of the day, if you destroy your own environment, it's the people that will bear the cost. The other day, there was a fight in one particular garage. All the people selling in the market, they could not stay there. They all left. And thugs take over the garage and the environs. The second point is a point that has been well made by Governor Adeleke, namely that this infrastructure does not belong to Governor Adeleke. It belongs to the people of Osun State. It's collective property. And if you look at that bridge, the depth of it, the thickness. Yes. Obviously, somebody, you know, did something. Somebody who has some small knowledge of engineering tried to sabotage it.
All right, there it is. The bridge
that is within the context of politics will be politics of hate. Yeah. It's still politics, contextually, but it is politics of hate. Yes. And that should not be allowed, you know, in a community of reasonable people. Right. And I align myself with the view that there should be an investigation. Right. And a trap should be set for people who are sabotaging public infrastructure. Yeah. The Nigerian government was wise enough to create a whole agency, the civil defense. Yeah, that's part of the responsibility of civil defense to make sure that people don't destroy our common property. Very well said, Dr. Even if I can't claim property in Osun State.
Very well said. I mean, like I said, you know, well done to the people who came out to report the story, and kudos to the governor for coming out to repair the road. As we saw in the picture, the road has been fixed accordingly. That's what the message I got. Accordingly. Well, all right. Let's take the story now from Delta State. A video showing airport security staff at the airport in Osubu Warri manually searching a woman's luggage despite the airport having a fully functioning X-ray machine has been generating outrage online. The airport staff discovered tins of milk and other canned food in her bag and decided to confiscate them, claiming the contents will spill in her bag. Let's take a look.
Why will I not travel with my tin milk? Why? 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 But asking now what's the content of your bag? I told you it's travel items. I beg, see, put this back on me, make her see the money. What you get? Please, just put them back for me. I came from Abuja, people from London. They don't do this. Why would you turn it off? Why? Why can't you fly with this? Why? Answer me why. Why can I not fly with tin milk? Why? It will spill? How will it spill? In a main luggage, not my hand luggage. How will it spill, madam? Why are you doing manual searching like this? For what now? It's very wrong. Even when you go international, you're allowed to buy things and bring things here. This is the second time I'm having an issue flying with this Osubu airport. Sardine, how will it spill when it is carefully packed? You are doing manual searching inside the airport when you can use the X-ray. Why?
Saw those stuff.
Why? Tell me why. I have the right to record. No, I have the right to record. I have the right to record. Let it not miss my bag, but I need to know enter my bag.
Okay, FAN has since launched an immediate investigation with its managing director directing a full probe promising to sanction any officer found to have breached its operational procedures. The video clearly shows airport security staff manually searching the bag despite an X-ray machine being right there.
Oji,
FAN,
with due respect, FAN does not need to investigate anything.
I don't understand.
They should just call the woman. She should bring bread to join the sardine. And the milk, food already. They saw food, they saw sardine. How much is sardine today? And milk. That one, if they tear the sardine now, put bread on top, lunch already. That's on the comical side of it. But FAN, bread. Oji, when we say there are no systems in Nigeria, you think we are joking. If the scanner was working, like they said the scanner was working, you know when they say the scanner is working, I take that thing with a pinch of salt. Oji, it was when I read the investigative reports of the plane that landed on the highway in Delta State that we discovered that the recording device of the air transport, the tower, is not working. So this one now, it might be reporter's speech. I didn't verify that the scanner is working with my Kurokoro, so I can't say it's working like they said it's working. But if it is working and they are using her to search, it just shows that the procedures are flawed. But if the procedures are flawed, the question we should now ask is, Oji, what are the procedural guidelines in every airport and who watches the procedural guidelines?
These are the questions.
I think those are the most important questions.
Yes.
And when you have an occasion like this, who was the superior officer that was supposed to intervene and look at the procedural guideline if it was being breached or not?
All right.
I think it's about process and procedure. But most importantly, bread was missing in that equation.
Really quickly, Dr. Abati.
Yes. See, it can be very irritating and very embarrassing for a lady to have a bag she wants to check in being, priced open in the presence of everybody. Because Nigerians are incurable voyeurs. When they see them opening your bag, taking your things out, everybody is looking. Everybody is looking. It's like 20, 30 people trying to jump inside your personal belongings. And then second thing, these airport officials, they call these ones AVSEC.
Yes.
They are very impolite.
Correct.
They can be very rude.
Can you put your hand?
And you see that woman was also, infuriated by the way she was treated.
All right.
Number 3, I think they said the electronic scanner was working. But that the woman who was leading that stop and search at an airport.
Stop and search at an airport.
She was saying that the picture they were seeing was blurry. So that means that scanning machine is already outdated.
But they were confiscating the tin of milk. That's my own issue. This milk, it was supposed to be checked into the luggage. It's a checked in luggage. It's not hand luggage.
Do you know whether those officials, whether they've taken a tin of milk since January?
Do you know how much is that tin of milk now?
Or whether they've tasted sardine.
That's what we are saying.
For the past 1 year.
There must be investigation.
There must be bread.
Well, all right.
What they say is that if you are checking in your luggage, right, and the machine has scanned it, if there's anything that they want to complain about, they will call you and they say, what do you have in this bag?
Right.
If it is Abuja Airport, I've seen that there, they will ask you to bring it out.
Can they not just ask you, open your bag, bring out your things yourself?
That's it. Ones they were
do not. Yes, unacceptable. All right, we are waiting for the full.
These people require training.
We're waiting for the
and equipment.
All right,
a lot of service providers require training.
What they require is bread.
We're waiting for the full investigation. We are waiting for the full investigation.
Yes, if you make the mistake of having perfume in your bag, they will tell you
you cannot check in perfume, that one for sure, but in your luggage you can. We are waiting for the full investigation from FAN. Now, still in Delta State, 12-year-old spelling bee champion, Master Great Chinedu Okediachi, of Madonna International School, Asaba, was given a hero's welcome by Governor Sheriff Obowori at Government House in Asaba and was handed a 20 million naira check in recognition of his gold medal win at the 2026 Spelling Bee World Cup in Shanghai, China. Let's take a look.
Grace, I'm giving you 20 million.
Wow, Governor Sheriff Obowori reminded the crowd that Delta State also produced Nigeria's World Debate Champions in Doha last year and used the occasion to reaffirm his administration's commitment to education, declaring that wealth can disappear, but education remains with you throughout your lifetime. The Asagba of Asagba also added his own reward, offering Chinedu a full university scholarship. Congratulations to Master Chinedu. Nigeria is incredibly proud of you, and I love what we're doing.
Intellectual
Education. Yes, I love it.
Well,
Thank God.
My state by
yes,
marriage.
your state by marriage. My state. I'm claiming it. Well done to the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Obowori.
I like that.
Now under Milestones. Now under Milestones, today we celebrate Minister of Works, Engineer David Umahi, who turned 63 on July 25th. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent warm felicitations, describing Umahi as one of his outstanding and hardworking ministers. David Umahi was born in 1963 in Ebonyi State, a civil engineer who rose from founding his own construction company to becoming deputy governor, then served as governor of Ebonyi State for 2 terms from 2015 to 2023, before becoming senator for Ebonyi South and subsequently Minister of Works under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The president, in a statement released on Sunday, extolled Umahi, saying he is constantly on the road, personally monitoring construction work nationwide, delivering roads and bridges he says will last a century. And to cap the special day, pictures circulating on social media show the minister celebrating the graduation of his twin children from Sheffield University in England, a proud double milestone for the family. A birthday and a double graduation. What a day for the Umahi family. Congratulations to Minister David Umahi and to his twins on their graduation from Sheffield University. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It's a double.
It's a double. Yes.
Triple.
So this one, you called it a milestone because there is a stone inside.
There's a stone inside.
Well, all right.
Engineering stone.
Yes. Engineering stone. Well, congratulations. Happy birthday, Minister David Umahi. Now under sports, 36-year-old British-Nigerian former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, in one of the most dramatic comebacks of his career, knocked out Albanian challenger Christian Prenga at the Jeddah Superdome in Saudi Arabia over the weekend. AJ entered the ring wearing a camouflage top with the names of his late friends who were killed in a car crash in Nigeria across his chest in an emotional tribute. Let's take a look.
AJ is back. The 34th ring walk in the thrilling journey of the magnetic boxing attraction that is Anthony Oluwafemi Joshua, who only began boxing at 18. He struck Olympic gold. He's a 2-time heavyweight king.
Just believing in himself there, Joshua. Lovely that carry.
Oh, big shot! He's out! There's no way he's going to make this count. AJ has won in 2 dramatic rounds. Christian Prenga is knocked out, having got a couple of knockdowns himself.
That was Spirit, that was Lats, that was Cena, that was the families, that was, you know what I mean? Come on, man. That hurts even talking about it, but yeah.
I feel like it was your fighting spirit and a bit of Lats and Sinner fighting spirit that made you get up in that first round and throw that big right hand in the second.
It's my brothers, but I don't want to talk about it.
What an emotional tribute. Congratulations to Super AJ for that amazing, incredible comeback and for dedicating the fight to his late friends. May their souls continue to rest in peace. We'll take our final story now under entertainment. Afrobeat superstar Asake has made history, becoming the first artist ever to release a full-length live concert film exclusively on Spotify. The film, titled Money Live in London, captures his sold-out performance at the legendary Theatre Royal Drury Lane. It is the first time an Afrobeats artist has ever headlined that iconic venue, featuring 18 live performances with a 40-piece orchestra and 5 unreleased tracks, including Money. Let's take a look.
We love you so much, Asake.
Mr. Money with the vibes, you shut it down.
He came on stage, steez, flowing, vibes.
Consistency, consistency. I promise to remain consistent in my positive action. Money, money, money. Ego, 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 ego. Asake, Asake, Asake Mapami.
Asake Mapami. Wow, fantastic. Asake is the most streamed Nigerian artist of all time on Spotify, and he continues to expand what Afrobeat means to the world. Congratulations, Asake, for always making Nigeria proud. On that note, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. Here we have Gratitude, the hit from Asake. Enjoy it, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Gratitude, shining.